Hello and welcome to COVID-19 Local Impact on Your TV. I'm Dan Malta from the Your TV studios in Peterborough. We'll start today's show with a quick glance at the COVID-19 statistics for the region. Starting off in Peterborough City and County and Hiawatha and Curve Lake First Nations. 73 confirmed positive cases with more than 5,600 individuals tested to this point. 2 deaths in the area. 67 of the 73 confirmed positive cases have been resolved, and there are 2 current local institutional outbreaks. In the city of Kawartha Lakes, 140 confirmed cases, 5 probable cases, 46 current high-risk contacts with 9 hospitalizations. 109 of the 140 have been resolved. 32 confirmed deaths and 3 confirmed outbreaks. In Northumberland County, 14 confirmed cases, 11 current high-risk contacts, 13 out of 14 cases have been resolved. Premier of Ontario Doug Ford announced more of the economy will be reopening this weekend as he addressed the province today. Get ready to tee it up.
Well, good afternoon. It's been weeks since we had to do the unthinkable. We had to put things on hold. We had to cope with a new normal. We had to make great personal sacrifices, and we did. Ontario stepped up. We threw everything we had at this virus. We mobilized 14.5 million people in the fight against this virus. And together, we're taking the legs out from under it. My friends, thanks to our collective efforts, today we're prepared to announce the details of the next stage of reopening the economy. We're getting thousands of people back to work. We've laid a solid foundation for our economic reopening and recovery. We have the framework. We have the workplace safety guidelines. We have the capacity in our healthcare system. And today, I'm ready to announce that this Saturday at 12:01 a.m., private parks and campgrounds, marinas and boat clubs, golf courses, and businesses that board animals will be allowed to open. And on Tuesday, May the 19th, we will enter the new stage, stage 1, in the reopening of our province. We can reopen retail stores with street entrants that are not located in shopping malls, with strict social distancing measures in place. Certain seasonal venues, including outdoor sports fields, tennis courts, and off-leash dog parks. Vets and other pet services, such as pet grooming by appointment only, animal shelters, household services, such as cleaning and maintenance, certain health and medical services, including scheduled surgeries and in-person counseling. We'll also lift the essential construction limits to allow all construction to resume. I want to be clear that businesses should open only if they are ready. I'll repeat that, only if they are ready. And we need to keep in mind that all of this is dependent on the numbers. The truth is, we can't fully predict where things will go. So we need to be ready to react if we see a sudden increase in cases. We cannot let our guard down now. We must watch the trends like a hawk. And we need to remember, as we ramp up more and more daily testing, as we get more and more people back to work, the risk of flare-ups is real. So we need to stay vigilant. We can't take our progress for granted. We can't ignore the health advice. We need to be ready to respond, and we will be ready. We have the capacity in our health system. We have the testing and tracing systems in place, and we will be ready to respond to any flare-ups. My friends, today's news is good news. Our efforts are paying off. And if we follow the medical advice, if we take our time and get it right, then we'll be able to open more businesses, get more people back to work. We have a long way to go. We have a long road to recovery. But let's take some time today and be grateful for how far we all have come. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario.
We'll keep bringing you updates from Premier Ford next week on COVID-19 local impact. Looking for masks, sanitizer, shields, or support in opening your business up to the public? To help businesses follow the guidelines of safe operation during the pandemic, the Greater Peterborough Chamber of Commerce has set up a one-stop shop for COVID-19 resources.
And that's really why we pulled it together. We were starting to get questions from local businesses about where they can get this, where they can get that. And we thought, you know what, we'll just reached out to our members and said, are you offering any of these products? And a few came back with some different ways of how they're approaching it. Anybody has access to the resource. It's peterboroughchamber.ca through the COVID web page that we've developed, and there's a button right on that COVID web page that says go to the hub, and then you can have a look. And we have quite a number of businesses in the community, Peterborough City and County, that are offering these products. The categories are COVID-19 signage, plexiglass shields, you got your PPE, which is masks, gloves, face shields, hand sanitizer, gowns, help with reopening, and fabricators. So we have a couple of fabricators on there. So if you need a casing to put plexiglass in, we have a number of fabricators in town that can do that. We want to make sure that everybody has what they need to reopen safely.
Your TV presents Trent Talks, hosted by Chancellor Stephen Stone, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Our next episode touches on emotional wellness in uncertain times. Here's a clip with Trent Psychology faculty members Dr. Robin Hanley-Defoe and Dr. Brenda Smith-Chance.
Sometimes what I think about when we think about resiliency and knowing this kind of notion that we're in the season of a storm, what I think is helpful to position our mindset that sometimes these storms come, but not to disrupt our lives, but perhaps to clear a path. And this opportunity that we're being presented with is perhaps this opportunity where we can hit pause, we can take this time to reflect, we can think about our priorities, our purpose, and our pace, and use this opportunity to practice everyday resiliency so we can find that clear path forward and get to the other side of COVID-19, where we're in a place of being stronger and healthier and more mindful of what this experience means to ourselves, to our institutions, as community members, and as Canadians.
The time length of this new normal for individuals is unknown. So how can we possibly take care of ourselves when there's so much uncertainty about the immediate future?
One of the things I think is so important and that we need to remind people as they move forward is two things. First of all, self-compassion and compassion for others, to understand that what we're going through is exceptional. And when we are behaving, or we see others who are close to us behaving in ways that seem to be problematic or challenging, that this is stress behavior, not misbehavior, not a reflection of the character. And that what we need to do is go into this process understanding that we're going to be troubleshooting and going with the times. And that's not a flaw, that's actually a strength. And so this is an opportunity to look at some of the stressors in our environment and how we can move forward, acknowledging that there are stressors, but at the same time being effective in negative circumstances.
The Kawartha Lakes Food Source drive-through food drive yesterday was a success. Across the whole city, their food bank locations received an approximate total of 7,455 pounds of non-perishable food, and approximately 385 donors participated. And as COVID-19 continues on your TV, we'll get an update from the Northumberland region. Hello and welcome back to COVID-19 Local Impact on your TV. I'm Dan Malta. Yesterday we brought you the story Habitat for Humanity Northumberland opened their restore to online shopping. Today we bring you more good news from the organization. Executive Director Megan McDonald tells your TV's Mark Rockburn, as of Tuesday, construction on the University Avenue house in Coburg has resumed.
As many people probably know, in March, Habitat made the decision that in order to support the public health recommendations, we closed our operations, which meant we had to close our restore, our admin, and our construction site. And it was a tough decision for us to make, one that we thought was best for the long-term organization as well as for the community. Luckily, we have been slowly coming back, and we're really excited that we are able to launch an online restore, as well as our construction site is back up with staff working.
When did the construction site begin?
It actually just reopened yesterday. So we have, it's right now in all our operations, we don't have any volunteers yet. That's kind of, we're phasing in slowly, but we were able to get some staff back yesterday to help keep progress going on our project at 2224 University in Coburg.
If you didn't make the decision and you yourself and the board didn't make the decision to close the construction site down, would you have been able to continue on building the house, or would you have been one of the sides of the construction industry that would have been asked to step down and close down due to COVID-19 and the restrictions put in place by the province?
We actually, because we already had a building permit, we probably could have continued. However, at the time, Habitat for Humanity in Canada had also made a recommendation that Habitat affiliates close construction sites and really evaluate how we can continue to build our Habitat housing while keeping staff safe, and then hopefully eventually soon volunteer safe as well.
As many people know, Megan, Habitat for Humanity, as well as many groups, rely on volunteers in the community to build these houses. So going forward, what's that now going to look like?
We're still trying to figure that out. It's funny how I'm saying this, it changes day by day. But we're really hoping to be able to bring back some key volunteers soon. The thing is, we probably for a while, we used to have, those big team build days with, 10 to 20 people. Those probably won't work for a little while. I think we're sort of open to adapting. And really at the end of the day, we have 4 homes that we had just started or were underway, or we were just about to start before the COVID-19 pandemic. And we really want to work as hard as we can to get those families housed. So we're going to do the best we can.
So what is the update on those? I know the one in Coburg on University Avenue has been an ongoing project for a bit now. So can you give us an update on that one?
Yeah, so we're building the addition at the back. So we renovated the existing house and the families are living there. That's another reason why when the pandemic hit, we closed down, was because there were families living in the front 2 units. So we knew more. We wanted to respect them as well. But the addition is being built. Actually, the 2 staff that were there yesterday raised another wall. So we're working on framing up those 2 units. And then we have 2 other projects that we have to wait now because we don't have building permits. So we can't start them until the province says you can issue building permits again. But we're relocating a house from Courthouse Road to Daintree Crescent in Coburg, and we're relocating a house to Beach Street in Bewdley. So those 2 projects we're working hard to get started as soon as we are allowed.
Great to see progress being made in Coburg. The municipality of Port Hope has lifted the restrictions on land use around the Ganaraska River. They were originally put in place to curb the influx of fishermen visiting Port Hope during the opening weekend of trout season. Mayor Bob Sanderson says even though the restrictions are lifted, it doesn't mean the rules of social distancing have changed, saying just because the province is lifting restrictions does not mean they have to follow suit.
I can tell you that it was a very difficult decision to close access to the river, and there were people who were not happy with that. But in the end, it did work very well. And I hope it continues to work now that they've been lifted. We do see people coming from out of town, although the emergency order still stands. And when we've asked them where they're from Toronto, Ajax, out of the community. And they feel safe coming to our community, and I understand that. That being said, I would really encourage that people wait until the emergency orders are lifted. We have citizens here who are very concerned about the number of people coming into the community. Under normal circumstances, we love people to visit. This is just not the time, and fishing is unfortunately an attraction. And I think very shortly, the Ontario government is going to, continue to give us some guidance as to what can open and what can't open. But as you know, Mark, fishing never did close, even though we really did want it to be. So we did take that action, and now we are allowing access to the river. It's not just for the people who come to fish. It's quite frankly, we have a lot of citizens who want to go outside, and those trails are very lovely trails to walk on.
I was going to say, Bob, I think there was more reaction from the residents of Port Hope that they could no longer walk along the riverbank as they had been accustomed to up until the point when you put the restrictions in place. Then there was complaints from fishermen themselves.
Yeah, the Angling Society and groups seemed to accept it. They didn't like it, but we certainly had local residents who felt that was a little bit hard on them. And quite frankly, I agree with them. But that's one of the things that we're dealing with. Is none of us are liking what's happening. We just have to do with it.
The official kickoff to summer, the May long weekend. A few reminders for the residents of Port Hope of the do's and don'ts that they can do this weekend, specifically dealing with fireworks and fires.
Yep. So we don't have a fire ban, but there are very restricted fire uses. So there are no fireworks allowed and no sale of fireworks allowed for this weekend. It came before council to also consider it for July 1st. We just didn't have the heart to do that yet. We probably will, quite frankly. So outside burning, is not to be done, but you can have your fireplace on and what have you. But unfortunately, the celebrations will have to be without fireworks this year.
So what does this mean for the municipality of Port Hope with more restriction being lifted by the province?
Because you can open doesn't mean you will open. We talked as an example about the marina, which was probably going to be announced that you can open a marina. There may be some camping abilities, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. So I think we're going to be more cautious than some. Certainly the Coast Guard has indicated that they would restricted access to Lake Ontario as much as possible. Their resources are stretched. Everybody's stretched. We'd have a tough time going out there and helping somebody. So that'll be decided by council. We'll probably have those discussions. We have our council meeting next week, and some of the discussions will move forward as to what we're comfortable opening. And camping has been available in the past. We've got that restricted by the river particularly, and we'll probably continue that. I can't see us agreeing to open the marina yet, and we are talking to all the other municipalities, certainly within Northumberland, to try to be somewhat cohesive and in agreement. I can tell you, between all the communities, there's a lot of discussion and communications. So I don't expect anybody to do something that's going to surprise anybody else, and the discussions will be fairly strong and in favor of maintaining the safety within our own community, not just saying, well, we'll open because we can.
Coming up on Saturday night, the result of a cooperative effort between multiple local media and charitable organizations. PTBO Strong presents Cove Aid, an entertainment-filled evening with local artists to raise money for mental health initiatives in the area. Our station manager, David Feely, has been part of the organization process. He talks about what you can expect Saturday night at 7 p.m.
So Cove Aid was an idea that was raised by Tim Burke, who was instrumental in the founding of PTBO Strong. They were put together last year to deal with the opioid crisis and homelessness in Peterborough, and have had a number of fundraisers. And he wanted to do something to help out the community again during the pandemic. The original intent was looking at possibly a 72-hour telethon or something along those lines, but people's time to spend that long in front of the TV or online was getting a little bit hard to manage. So we've got it pared down, and it ended up being a 2-hour concert. And it'll premiere on Saturday night at 7 p.m. on your TV, as well as on PTBO Strong's Facebook page, and a number of other Facebook pages will be carrying it as well. It's all local talent. It's all local talent who produced music and entertainment from their homes during the pandemic. So you're not going to see their music videos, you're not going to see things they've done on stage in the past. It's all done for this concert. And it's very enlightening to see how much effort and how much time they put into doing these. We've also got messages from politicians, dignitaries, VIPs, just sharing their words of positivity and keeping people together during this.
Oh, well then, good job we have this space between us then.
Well, I am going to shower though, this Saturday night, because you and we have a date.
So Pete Halliday and Megan Murphy are our hosts for the program. They were very interested in getting involved in this because they feel very strongly about the cause. In order to facilitate something online like this, it took a lot of work to put together. So we were able to lean on the services of the Community Foundation of Greater Peterborough to work as our facilitator for the funds. That way we didn't have to worry about setting up portals for donations, etc. They're handling all of that through their website. So to donating is very easy. You can visit either Facebook pages or ptbostrong.ca and ptbostrong.com and click on donate right there. The money goes through the Community Foundation. You get a tax receipt issued, and you get an automatic generation of a note thanking you and acknowledging your support. All the money is being distributed through the Community Foundation and with the guidance of the United Way to make sure it gets to the agencies that really need it dealing with mental health. The effort has taken a number of people to get involved. There's been about 6 key contributors to it who have been on regular communications through Zoom, as has everyone. But there's probably another 10 that have been involved to some extent. All the local media has been involved helping to promote it and participated in that way. But the key people that have been meeting probably 2 or 3 times a week and now daily is a group of about 6. And Tim Burke leading that group, Dave Koski, Neil Morton, some of our staff here. We've got some IT people involved to make sure the broadcast goes off without a hitch. So it's been a pretty big effort to come together in an incredibly short amount of time.
We're certainly looking forward to enjoying Cove Aid together. Now something you may have already seen, but another teaser for what you will see and hear on Saturday night. Blue Rodeo's Lost Together, presented by Fleming College. For your TV, I'm Dan Malta, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Strange and beautiful are the stars tonight that dance around your head. In your eyes I see that perfect word. I hope that doesn't sound too weird. I want all the world to know that your love's all I need, all that I need. And if we're all lost, then we are lost together. the silence of this whispered night. I listen only to your breath. And in that second of a shooting star, somehow it all makes sense. I want all the world to know that your love's all I need, all that I need. And if we're lost, then we are lost together. And if we're lost, then we are lost together. We are lost together.